We are live. My name is Lisa Roney. Good morning, everybody. And we are going to be gathering today because we are going to talk about fear, how it can work in our lives, and how we can transmute it and move through it. Because that's a bigger part of it, too, is it's what it is and how it affects every part of our life, even from when we were a child and we could have been fearful of one thing and how it has just grown roots and spread throughout. But today we are. But I am Lisa Roney. I am an intuitive channel, psychic, medium, teacher. I don't know. I wear a lot of hats, but I like this one the best. The one that me and Carol and the work that we've been doing together. To me, it has just been a lot of fun and transformative would be the nice way to say it. So,
And welcome. Have you ever felt paralyzed by fear? Especially when you're getting ready to step in out of your comfort zone, to step out of whatever is keeping you stuck and moving forward. So, fear is something that we all face. Let's be
oh,
honest. It's something we all face. It is a part of being a human being. Now, it is about what do you do with it? Right? Are you avoiding it? Are you transforming it? Are you using it as a positive way? That's what Lisa and I are going to be talking about today. We're going to share our experience. We are going to tell you what we did so you don't do it.
yeah, don't go my way. Don't go down that road.
Yeah, we don't want you to go the road that we are will be sharing today, but we wanted to give you how you can recognize it. So we're gonna give you some tips and trick and how you can move past it. All right. So our hope by the end of this talk, you have a new tool that you can use to step and moving forward fear. So Lisa already introduced herself. My name is Carol Soto. I am a healer. I am a spiritual teacher. I empower empath. I went through the journey of healing fear. And how I did it, it was head on. How you did it, Lisa?
I thought I don't know if it was just being naive and thinking that I had to take complete ownership in everything and how I experienced it, but I dove into it. It was like here, and I tried to absorb myself into it because I wanted it to be gone. So it was head first, let's go. And I didn't understand at that point in time how much it would come into play into my life and the scenarios that it would kick off. And then this, and it just rotation after rotation. It's like, oh, you're ready? Okay, here you go. Here you go. And I was given every chance and example to be able to move past it, to learn what is mine, what wasn't mine, programming, and really learn how to let it go in a positive manner. Because I used to think that if you didn't have fear, because that's most of my life has been lived in fear, like everything, if I didn't have that fear, I wouldn't have any motivation to do anything because it was my motivator. So for a long time, but letting fear go, whew. Oh, Carol, go ahead.
So for me, fear is a guide, right? It's a messenger. It is a natural response of keeping us safe, right?
Hmm.
The thing is that what used to keep us safe, it may not be what needs to keep us safe now, right? So it's doing that reflection of why fear is coming up, right? And how you're responding to fear. It is the correct response to fear. So when I started my healing journey, I choose, you know what? I'm healing and I'm going to be letting go of fear. So I remember doing this guided meditation that it was to dance with fear. Oh boy, I did dance with fear. I met fear head to head and I was hyperventilating. I was like really my nervous system on fight to fight mode on a meditation. But I feel sharing this story, it was a key component for me because I, at that moment, realized number one, fear is real. And number two is it can block me or it can be a motivator.
Oh, I agree. And it can. And it blocked me. I would say, because fear is my motivation. It blocked me for most of my life because that's all I was surrounded myself in was, from one where you're like, I'm going to face this. Let me feel it. For me, it was, I was putting myself in another fearful situation. And then we'd move through that one and I would be into another fearful situation. So it was not just affecting me, but it was also affecting everybody around me. And at the same time, I was doing the same. I was learning, how am I reacting to this? How am I not, it wasn't just the what contributing factors that were put into it, but it was learning, oh, how am I reacting to this? How is it really allowing me to move forward instead of just that steady stream of survival? Being in survival mode and feeling that reaction time. And for me, it was learning, wow, okay, is it mine? First and foremost, being highly sensitive, I had to figure out if it was mine. And then that took years. That wasn't something that was simple. Okay, it is mine. Okay. Then it was, I need to feel it. It isn't something that sometimes you can take it down and you can put it back up, but at the same time, sometimes you just have to feel it, accept it, honor it. Because what it did for you, and then move forward because it isn't yours. You've transmuted it. You have let it go. You have given it the love that it needed and it deserved. Yes, fear needs love. It needs joy.
If this is resonating with you, please share your own experience, your own things around fear. Like, where are you at in your journey when it comes to fears? Are you stuck in familiar patterns, right? Are you letting go what no longer serves? Are you practicing what Lisa is sharing about is it mine, right? Because as empath, as high sensitive, that's the first question. When you're going through an emotion, fear, worry, anxiety, whatever you want to name it that you're going through, that should be your first question. Is it mine?
Yes. And then learning to recognize, within your own system of that. For me, it was because for everything's always been energy vibration for me. So, and then it's like, okay, that's my vibration. I'm separating it. And then learning how to put that protection up and going, okay, that is theirs. And to give it back with love at the same time. That is hard. But at the beginning, it was really difficult. Now, when I bump up against it, it's like, okay, I'm taking a breath. I'm like, that's not mine. There you go, right back. Or at the same time, oh, that's another layer of me. I forgot about that one. I forgot about how that Lisa was scared, or that Lisa was put in another situation where she was in fear of that. Oh, okay, that is mine. All right. And I do journal a lot. I write a lot because it'll take me back to being 14-year-old Lisa. Take me back to an experience, and it's like, "Oh, I never allowed her to heal." Okay. What does she need? And what she wasn't given, because she wasn't given a lot. And it's like, okay, I'm changing that today. I'm healing that today and now. But yeah, that's what really does work for me, Carol.
I love that you brought your inner child and your past, right?
Yeah.
So for me, your past experience definitely define how that fear is going to show up in your future and you're here and now, right?
Oh, 100%.
Because what you experience is going to be the voice in your head and like, "Ooh, what if I fail? Or what if people doesn't love me? Or what if, right? So I would like to hear like how does fear show up for you, Lisa?
Now fear shows up to me. Like I said, it's always been situations. That's how I learn. That's just, how it feels to me. And now recently we've been put back into a situation where Brad was hurt. And it as soon as it hit me, it was like, okay, we're here again. I've been there before, so my body and my nervous system wants to go one way, and now it's like, no, I'm not going there. I've got to be able to move through this situation quickly with quick thinking, and I have no room for fear or error needs to be in there. And the fact that I could handle it like that now to me was, wow, I was put back into that situation again. And look how we handled it this time.
I love that story because fear can show up in different ways, right? For
Hmm.
you, it shows up with situation, but for others, it can show
Yeah.
up as procrastination, as a
Hmm.
self-doubt, as a self-worth, right?
Hmm.
When you feel paralyzed, right? So anytime that you feel paralyzed, whatever it is that is triggering you, it's a
Hmm.
good indication of how fear is holding you back.
That's right. That is right. How do you, Carol, when you walk today, how do you handle when you become fearful? Is it, either from procrastination or situation? What do you do when you feel that it is that you're putting yourself and your body in a fearful situation?
So for me, it's number one, I take a breath. Because like I want to see it from a present moment, right? Not out of body situation. Number two, I ask the question, is it mine? Right? So if it's not mine, sending back to sender with love. And then if it's mine, then I stop and I understand the why. But here's the key component, and it takes practice. It takes a healing journey, right? It is to, I understand, I honor you, I see you, right? And sometimes that help move the and transform the energy, but sometimes we need to ask deeper questions, right? So what is the fear trying to teach me, right? How deep this fear is ingrained on me? When did it occur for me to start fearing this? And
I
then
like.
and then I always invite my team in spirit. So I always invite my higher self, my I am present. But for fear, I invite always Archangel Michael. Always. Now, I don't come with the intention that automatic transmute, transform, neutralize fear, right? It is more with the intention, hold me, let me understand where is this coming from, right? It can
Hmm.
be as simple as honoring, or it can be more deeper layer, right? And then when it's ready, I ask to be transmuted, to be transformed. But something that I always ask is, where's this coming from? Because sometimes we react and we may react from a trauma perspective.
That's right.
How you
And,
handle it.
well, I first and foremost, I take a breath. I have to, but I breathe straight into my heart chakra. My heart chakra for me is kind of like that safe space. Like, I mean, because like I've said, I've lived most of my life in survival mode. So if I can get inside my own heart energy, I can feel that healing energy of myself. It brings my higher self down automatically, where I'm there, and then it is. Is it mine? And then it is, did I create this? Because for me it is a lot of situational, and I'm like, okay, did I create this? And I want to see where I went, because of the way, it shows up, fear shows up in my life. And then, okay, if I didn't create it, that happens too. And because, delusional me programmed me, because I have to kick that through sometimes, because I was always taught, if you just do everything right, there's nothing to be afraid of. But that's not true. And it isn't, because you can do everything right, and somebody chooses to do, we have free will. Somebody chooses to make their own path and their own decision that will, that can affect us all. And then it's like, okay, because ownership has been such a thing that I've worked through, because it has, how it's reflected in my life. And it's like, okay, is it mine? How did I handle it? How am I moving forward? But always, first and foremost, is I'm going to sit in my own heart energy, because there I'm going to get all the answers I need. Where it came from, where it's going, what it's trying to show me, by sitting in my own heart energy. Mm-mm. But yeah.
I love that because it's the same process that I said. Like, how can I
Hmm.
step out of the situation where now I can be an observer versus being inside of the situation where I'm
That's
triggered,
right.
where I am maybe running from it. Oh, I don't want to see it. I don't want to feel it. I don't want to be there again, right? So
Hmm.
versus you losing your power, being in your power. So stop running, take a breath, and ask for clarity, for guidance of
Yeah.
show you the why. There's always a why behind it.
Oh, absolutely. And also, we've talked before too, how reactions could be, and how it's showing up in your life could also reflect of what stage you are in your healing journey. And that one's a big one. If you're in that first part of your healing journey, and you're separating it, is it mine? Is it somebody else's? When you're becoming aware that it's there, that's when it's time to go, okay, let's get a little bit more curious with it, because, you could have been asleep for so many years and not even recognize, that it was right there in front of you. Or, because that's what we were asleep. And then once it's into your awareness, it's like, that part for me, before the awareness part, I could have been in a fearful situation, and I could have been living in it for years, running from it and living that situation, because I was running from the fear, because I was asleep. I didn't know any better. And then, once it really came into my awareness, it's like, okay, that's when it was time to get curious of, is it mine? How do I handle this? How do I move forward? And then do it. But, and how it reflects in your life really does show up in different areas. Going back to, what stage of healing are you in? Because you're gonna handle it differently, and you're gonna notice that the time frame, like I used to be able to sit, like I said, I would sit in a situation, it could be for months, it could be for years. Now it's seconds. That's how fast you can transmute it and move through it. So, and that's the big one, is being able to go and sit there and go, oh, and then move through it. So
I
that's where I
love
would let
that.
everybody.
I love that you bring in the topic of go through it
Yes.
because I think we need to talk about there's no short step, right?
No,
There is
there's no way around it. There's no
there's no
way
way
over
around
it,
it.
behind it. There's no way. You have to move through it.
And I feel moving through it will be look different for each of us depending where you're at in your journey
Yeah.
and depending on your intention, right? Because my intention since I learned about fear is like I want to head it on. Let's move past with it, which I don't recommend you to do that
No.
because you need to be ready for it. And it's not the right way to be honest with you because there is need to be also the intention of you don't need to know everything that you're healing. There is need to be an intention. You don't need to go through the process again when you're doing the healing. But that's with intention, right? That is who's holding the space for you in spirit and physical way, because this is also important. Through this process, I use numerous healers to help me hold space for the fear. And it was not until I learned, like, oh, Carol, you don't have to relive it that. I was like, okay, I don't need to know, right? Let's transmute it because this is coming from a different time, from a different perspective. And here's the message that I want you to take from this. When you are doing the healing, if you relive it again, your subconscious, your energy bodies, your whole being, especially your nervous system, doesn't understand that already passed and is going through it again. And that, my friend, is not necessary.
And that would sum up my entire healing journey. Pardon me. And that's why we say you don't have to live it over again. You don't have to be putting back in that same situation to see how you're going to handle it. That's not how it needs to be done. It's like you can, where I teach the boys, it's like work smarter, not harder. But I didn't do that myself. I worked really hard in a lot of areas where it took so much out of me mentally and physically that it took, that it was such a long journey that it's not necessary. It's like, okay, thank you. And accept and move. Then that can be just that simple if that is your intention. But intention has a lot to do with it because even like with me, I thought I needed total ownership of, moving past things. Like, I'm the only one that can do this. I'm going to get it done and I'm going to experience it and get rid of it and move through it all at once. And then my whole life went, it's the truth because that is the intention that I set. And that is exactly what happened to me. Now it's no. My intention is set on joy, that's it.
So,
And I can move through all of it and still feel joy. But yeah.
so here's how you can transform fear. Number one is with intention, but be careful with your intention because, as we mentioned, it's powerful. Number two, it is with different techniques, right? You can do this with self-healing, or you can ask someone to hold space for you. My experience, and please take what resonates, it is much easier when somebody else is holding space for you,
Yes.
especially if it is like really deep rooted fear. And we have those.
Yes. I will agree. The When I was trying to go through it by myself, just, meditation after meditation or class after class, just doing that, it wasn't the same as it was when I finally said no. I need help. I cannot move this energy by myself and psychologically work through what I needed to because I still live in a 3D world. There's still things that we have to set straight. It isn't just transmuting the energy. We still have to put this reflection into our own lives. We have to set it, we have to put it into place and move and actually move forward. And that's the hard part, doing it without working smarter, not harder.
And you don't have to do it alone.
No, no, that's silly. That's why we were building a community. That's just, it's silly. You know, I don't know where that programming got so stuck into my head, but it's from experiences and my own traumas. But at the same time, no, it's much easier to process this with somebody else.
Well, I think you're not only one Lisa, right? Because I remember being a single mom and I was dating a guy at the time, and I was doing everything alone because that's how I was used to. Well, fully independent woman, and I just didn't know how to ask help. And I remember when I started my healing journey, I started asking for help, and my teen and steering literally said it was about damn time. Like literally, they said it is about damn time that you ask for help.
I have a hard time asking for help. That's a simple one. But that also has to do with life experiences, like you said, you being a single mom, me being in the situations that I've been in, and me and my husband have been in through the years. It's like that would be weakness if you ask for help, and
Yes.
it's not. It's actually the greatest strength. I mean, it's showing the greatest strength because you're sitting here saying, "I understand that it wasn't all done by me. I can't
No.
fix it all by me." So, I really do love that.
Well, if you love this conversation and we resonate with you, we're going to invite you to continue following us. We are going to go deeper and deeper into this conversation because fear, this is just the basics. There is more of this topic, right? And all the different type of fears that we can have. For example, fear of death, fear of the unknown. And let's be honest, we also capture a lot of fears through the pandemic, and it is still in the collective, and it's still is an individual.
Oh yeah, I'm still picking up financial, fear from COVID. I mean, it's still working through us because of the experience and stuff that we have. So absolutely, fears will hold on, and it'll keep showing up, and we're going to keep working through them. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm about to sneeze. Whew.
If there is fears on you, Lisa and I can help you through different ways. We have a weekly meeting healing where we hold space. And actually, the first healing that we did, it was around fears.
It was.
The last healing that we did, it was about the fear of death. So, if you are ready to let go of all the fears and us holding space for you, just reach out. And
Please.
last message, Lisa.
The weight feels different after you start working through it, and how it shows up differently in your life after it's gone. So, and it's worth it. It really is. It's worth it. So, thank you, Carol.
You are welcome. Just know you're not alone. You don't have to do this alone. It is normal. It is part of a human experience, but it's your choice. Do you want it to paralyze you or do you want to help you to move forward? With so much love.
Next time.
Until next time. Bye for now.